Hello everyone. Hello. Happy, what is today? Thursday. What a busy day. I am Pam Savage with Young at Heart Creations, and we are going to paint this little cutie tonight. A little sunflower with some, I started to say hummingbirds, with some ladybugs. So that's what we're going to be painting tonight. Welcome. Let me go on and get you pulled up on my iPad so I can see comments. There we go. So as soon as you hop on, just say hello. Hi, Marilyn. Marilyn is the first one on. Thank you, Marilyn. You are the first one to hop on. This is what we're going to be painting tonight. Hi, Lynn. Thank you for hopping on. Thank you. So much going on this week. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and just do some base coating with, I'm going to use that cadmium yellow. And so I did this one already today. This is my second live, or actually third live today. And this one I did on a private membership group, Terry Burton's membership, painting for profits. So we did this one. So we're going to do the same one since I already had everything out, all the colors and everything. So I thought we would just go ahead and do it. I've got grandchildren coming. They're going to spend the night with me. And I don't know why all of a sudden my ring light is like really washing me out. And it's not done that before. So I'm not sure if it's gotten moved or what. So I look kind of like a ghost, but I do have face color. All right, I'm going to get you pulled down here, and I'll try to watch the comments over here on the left. So let me pull you down so you can see what's going on. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead. This is just a vegetable can that I use when I put napkins on them, paint them, and put napkins on them to make them pretty. I'm just going to use it as it just happened to be the right, perfect. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Perfect size for the center. So I'm just going to take a pencil and just lightly go around it. So we'll have something, just kind of our guide as to how far in our petals need to go. So just anything you've got around the house to use, that's what I do. If I need a big circle, I use a pizza pan. If coffee cups, anything, the bottom of if you need a small circle, the bottom of your paint bottles is great if you're needing polka dots or something of that nature. Okay, I'm just going to use this is a 1-inch flat, and so I'm just going to go in with that cadmium and probably take us a couple of coats. I've already base coated it in white. Anytime I'm using yellow, I try to go ahead and base coat it in some white. Because I don't have to put as many coats. Yellow is sometimes a little bit hard to cover with. But this is a very pretty yellow. And I'm just going even just a little bit over that line, because we're going to come in and fill in the circle with black, the center of the flower. So if we go over it a little bit, that's fine. You just want to make sure that you get all the way to the line. Because it will have the black coming up to it, but the black's not going to go over the line. So make sure you get it covered with that yellow. And this may not take a second coat. We'll see here once we get it on. Now on the edges, to do the edges, I go through, I don't rub the edges or come up like this because it gets a blob everywhere. I just go through and pat them on and then smooth it out on top. I'll do the edges after the live so as not to take up as much time on here. If we finish in like a record time and before my grandchildren get here, then we'll go ahead and do the edges, but if not, I'll just do them off camera. Okay, and see how I can still see that pencil line through there? That's what I want, so that I can kind of tell where it's going to go. It's not going to show because, again, the black is going to go over it. So we'll have it covered in black and it'll be just fine. If you're just hopping on, this is what we're doing tonight. I'm going to go ahead and set it over here kind of out of my way so I don't splatter paint on it. I've already got it sealed. I just have to put the the hanger on it. these cutouts, I did not cut these out. I bought these online from Woodcutz, C-U-T-Z, woodcutz.com, and he is, if you don't get it to pull up that way, just Google Woodcutz, C-U-T-Z, Bear Creek, that's B-E-A-R, and then another word, Creek, Alabama, and he'll come up that way. He's got great blanks. His wood is always really good, and he's very, very reasonable. And he uses plywood, so it's so far, and I've ordered a lot from him before I started cutting a lot of my own, and I've never been disappointed. I got these because I was doing a paint party with them, and I needed several, and I was on a time crunch and just didn't have time to cut them myself, so I ordered them from him, and I had them within, I think it was within a couple of weeks. And the way I don't know if he still does, but he used to ship them with 2 pieces of plywood over them, so you actually ended up getting some extra wood if you cut your own wood. So many times I've used that to cut things out. Okay, I'm going to give this a little quick dry. Hi, Jean. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for sprinkling, Lynn. What Lynn means by sprinkling is S-H-R-E, hitting that button to sprinkle the video. For some reason, Facebook doesn't like us to use that S-H-A-R-E word. So we use the word sprinkled. So I would appreciate it if you would sprinkle this video to your media. That helps me get followers. And if you haven't already, you can hit the 3 little dots up at the top right-hand corner, I believe, and choose to get notified when I go live. But if you're not following, I would appreciate it also if you would follow my page. I am super, super excited. In under 2 weeks, I have gotten so far 102 new followers, and have been notified by YouTube that I hit over 100 subscribers to YouTube. I just sent out Happy Mail last week because I had hit 700. You know, we were working hard to get to 700, and I'm almost at 800 in just barely over a week. So I got to get some more Happy Mail ready. I know that's going to happen. So I want to be ready when that all takes place to send you out some more Happy Mail. Susan Easters was our last winner, and I posted a picture of what I'd sent her. She was very pleased with it. I heard back from her. Said it all got there in one piece. And then I also, what else is new this week? Oh, I shipped out my very first shipping order that I was on virtual home decor marketplace. They get on every weekend and sell, or have somebody that paints. And then they auction their piece off at the end, and she was the auction winner, the bidder, highest bidder. Then she ended up buying another one, so I shipped both of those out. She's supposed to get those this Saturday. So that was the first time I'd ever invoiced anybody other than my events and parties. I mean, that sends you out an invoice, but I have to go in and manually invoice these. I had no clue how to do it. So I sat down and I YouTubed it. I got it figured out. Okay, I'm going to go in with some lighter yellow. This is Delta Ceramcoat, and it's called Pale Yellow. Just want to get some highlights going on in the middle of those petals. So I went on that page. I went on the marketplace page. I went on the membership. I'm going to get a smaller brush for this. Terry's membership site. I've been on Tamara's twice in the last couple of weeks. Tamara Bennett's. And so it's good to be, I enjoyed it. It was wonderful being on everybody else's page. But it's nice to be home, you guys. I miss my homies. Y'all know how much I appreciate you. So I'm just going to kind of dry brush some highlights in the middle here. Just to kind of brighten them up a little bit. Almost looks like sunburst. Let's add just a little bit of white even. I want it just a little bit lighter. And then we'll go in and do some shading. Okay, let me get that big blob off there. So I have been incredibly busy. And then I've got 4 days of training next week. I'm trying to get up the nerve to do a membership. I've had several of you contact me and say, please do a membership. I would join today. Okay, I'm just going to go over this yellow a little bit with this big brush. Not liking the effect that was giving. So I'm going to water it down, and we'll just do kind of a wash. So I'm just going to kind of wash out like sunburst coming out. So I really watered that paint down. Just going right over that circle. Okay, see if you can tell the difference. Here I've got a little bit of a wash on it, lighter wash, and then nothing down at the bottom. So it just gives it another layer. A little more texture. Back and forth. So it's really just a highlight, you're just doing it a little bit different way. And then once we get our details on there, it won't be so in your face highlight. I did announce today, I don't know if you've seen that video yet, I forgot to send out an email to my one of my email lists that I have about the paint party. So I apologize to you guys. I was made aware of that. So I need to send that email list out. So we have extended the deadline on the paint party. That's April the 28th. Thursday, April the 28th at 11 o'clock. We have extended that deadline to the 20th. So you still have a few days to register, get a friend to come with you. It's only $35, and it's going to be so much fun. Everybody's going to bring their lunch because we're going to work through lunch. So we can be sure and get out on time. Okay, there it is with some highlights in it. Just washed. A wash just means you've added water to it and it's just very, very thin. Even a little less than ink, I guess you would say. But there's pictures posted on my Facebook of what we'll be painting at the paint party. It's going to be so much fun. I think I have it over here. Oh, and here's the one. Pull you up while that's drying a little bit. This is the one I did on that home decor marketplace. Get my bow turned around here. Same design, just painted it like a daisy instead of a sunflower, and then painted some little ladybugs, and then cut from a napkin some little bumblebees and put on there. So same thing. Hi Laura from Texas. Hi Wanda from Mississippi. We're going to Mississippi in May. We're going to go to Laurel, Mississippi. So there, whoops, there's that one. Same cutout, just a little bit different design. And then here's what we will be painting at the paint party. We're going to be Mod Podging some little butterflies from napkins on. We're going to be painting these flowers, super, super easy flowers. Yes, everybody's loving that little white daisy. And I was thinking, oh man, this one's a flop. This is not really exactly what I was going to do. And it's turned out it's just gone crazy. So, and then we're going to paint these flowers. Super, super, super easy to do. If you're a beginner, this is perfect for you. You just use one brush to do it. And then if you're an advanced painter, you can add more details. We're going to add some grass and some flowers down here. And then we're painting the two little terracotta pots to go in. You could put paint brushes, all kinds of things in here, whatever you wanted to do. You could put little succulent plants in here, but how cute is that? But you can do it the colors of your choice, whatever you want to do. And that's what we're going to work on during the party, and we should be able to get it done pretty quickly. Okay, I'm going to add just a little more right in here. Okay, all right, let's get some shading going on. And for the shading, I'm going to use honey brown. Actually, let me try. I think I might change that. Let's see what the deep ochre looks like on it. Might not be dark enough. We'll try. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to bring you back down. Let's see. Oops, Daisy, my brain is foggy right now. Allergies and storm the other day. Ramped. Oh, I know. Me too. Yes. Kind of been having to hang on to the wall when I get up of the morning. Okay. Let's bring it back down. Where do you live, Wanda? Oh, you live in Laurel? Laurel, Mississippi, where Ben and Aaron are? Is that where you live? Okay, I could use some floating media, but I'm just putting a little bit of water on here, and then we're going to do some shading on that. So I'm going to get some of that base coat color on there. A little bit of that color in. I don't want it to completely cover up what the highlighting that we just did. Just going to put a little bit on that bottom corner of that darker color, and let's see if that is dark enough. If not, we'll go to the brown. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Okay, so we're going to go through and do all of these on this side, and then we'll come back around. And I'm just going to get a little bit of moisture on the petals. And what we're trying to do is make this smaller petal look like it's behind the others. So I'm staying just inside that petal, and I'm just floating it out. I don't want a harsh line. This brush has just a little bit of moisture, and just to get that floating paint shading color that we're using to float over it, I'm just getting it a little wet. If it's dry, it doesn't blend out. You'll just get a harsh line, and your paint's going to look all broken up. Okay, I do like that deep ochre on it. But brown is okay too. Now I'm making sure that I'm getting up, at least up to that pencil line. Even if I go inside it, that's fine, because it's going to be covered. Okay, I'm going to smooth that out just a little. Just right inside. Now the reason I'm not just going right back over and doing that side, I want that side to dry just a little bit so that I'm not wiping it off with this brush. Okay, and I'm going to do this on purpose. I want to show you. I didn't put any moisture on the petal that time or on my brush. Here's a smooth one. Now here's one where the brush is too dry. There's just no moisture on the piece, and it breaks up. Your brush kind of, I guess if you will, drags. So I just added a little bit of moisture to that, and we're going to work it out. Nice and soft. Okay. You don't want too much water on it, or it's going to just spread everywhere. Okay, just fading it out. Okay, that's all on that side. So now we're going to switch to the other side. I'm going to come up here where they're dry and start up there. So let's start with this one. Wash that out just a little bit. I did it on the wrong edge, and I had a little bit of that floating color on both sides, and you do not want that. Okay, so I'm going to go around and do all the large ones right quick, and then we'll come back and do the small ones. But see how just by putting those two coming over that petal instead of just straight down, it makes it look like that smaller one's in the background. Right before I went live, my husband said, "Do you want me to go get us something for supper?" Didn't take me long to say yes. So I think we're having fajitas from one of our favorite restaurants. Oh, I take that back. We changed our minds to chicken enchiladas. He is off work today, tomorrow, and half of next week, so we're looking forward to some time off. And get some our flower beds redone outside. The same boys that helped us with our retaining wall from church, we've hired them to come and help us with redoing our flower beds. They are definitely in need of a makeover. Now notice I'm starting up here on the chisel edge, and then I'm pressing, really pressing down to fade that out, and then just turning up on that chisel edge when I get to the top. The brush has some hairs in it. He's also taking off for the day of the paint party, April 28th. He's going to go help me set up. So I will be completely ready to go when everybody gets there. Curving it out. Okay, just got about 3 more of these to do. And then we'll fill in the little ones right quick, and then we'll start putting some details on. I'm gonna let that one dry for just a minute. I got a little bit too much water on it. So we'll just let it dry a minute. Okay, last one of the big ones. I will go through and do the edges of the flower after we're done. I can do that off camera. Okay, now right where there's our big ones. And then right where they meet, we're going to bring in the small one. And then I'm going to fill in that little space right there. So we're going to come around to each one. And right there is a little space that doesn't get covered. So I'm just filling that in. Hi, Stephanie. Well, thank you. Hi, Laura. Oh, yes, fajitas. I love fajitas, but we changed our mind. We're going to do enchiladas. I usually make enchiladas. That's one of my specialties, but we're going to order them tonight. Is floating medium different than blending medium? If there is a difference, Pam, I am not aware of it. I use either one. They both work the same to me. Laura, the darker color that I'm using is deep ochre. Deep ochre, O-C-H-R-E, and I know it's going to be backwards for you. It's a little bit darker than antique gold. So if anybody else knows that question to blending, but is there a difference between blending gel and floating medium? If there is, I am not aware of that. I thought they were the same. I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to use a little bit smaller, one of my better brushes to do these smaller petals. And we'll get just a little bit of water on there. Okay, and then I'm just filling it in. I also sometimes will use primary yellow if I don't have any of the cadmium. Either one is fine for sunflower colors. But you can also, if you want a more realistic looking one, you can add a little bit of orange. A little bit of maybe burnt orange in it. I reminded my hubby that I was going live. I said, now don't yell upstairs for me, because when we're upstairs and one of us is upstairs and one's downstairs, sometimes we text each other, but sometimes we'll just stand at the bottom of the stairs and say, will you pitch me down? Okay, now we're just doing one side right now. We'll go through and do the other side real quick here in just a second. Okay, a little more moisture. Hi, Miss Crystal. Crystal's coming to our paint party. And she's got so far to go to get to it. Not. She works for the bank where we're having the party. The bank I used to work for, well, she works there. So she's just got to walk downstairs for it. Okay, so we got all that side of them done. So I'm going to start where it's dry. So I'm not wiping it off, and we'll start over here on this side. while I was on the other live today on the other lady's, on her membership page, I kept hearing some rattling downstairs, and I thought, what is my hubby doing? Well, I got down there, and he had just completely cleaned the kitchen. I was so busy up here getting ready for multiple lives today that I hadn't had time to get down there and clean up. So I got down there, and he had cleaned up the whole kitchen. Taken the trash out. Ran some errands for me in town. You don't realize how many petals there are on this until you go to painting them. But you could even paint it. You could paint it completely opposite of the daisy and this. You could do a pretty center and then put a pretty like light turquoise color petals, light purple petals. I've even painted one for a little girl's room, a nursery. I don't know if you remember a while back, it's been over a year, I guess. And it was, she had her nursery done in pink and brown. So I did one in with brown with pink polka dots, and it turned out really cute. It was so sweet. Okay, so we've got all of our petals done. Now I want to go through where I don't have to worry about the big ones because the black's going to cover that up, but I'm going to go through right quick and just these smaller petals. I want to do some highlight around those. Okay, just where the small ones are behind. Just makes them look a little more inset. Should have gotten my Lazy Susan out for this one. Okay, got those done. And there's our center on that. Okay, and with that deep ochre, we're going to go in and put our little petal lines. I don't know what else to call them. I'm sure there's a technical name. You get to stroll downstairs. Yes, go paint a sunflower on it. You'll have to use canvas though. Oh, I've not done one on a canvas yet, but I think I want to. Hi, Heather. Yeah, I've got it sitting under my stack over there. I just didn't even think about getting it out. Okay, before all that dries, I'm going to take just a little bit of white. And we're going to go just a little more in those centers. I just want a little more highlight in those. So I'm going to wash some of this white down. Just going to mix what I have left over of that yellow. Going to get most of it off my brush. Just want those petals to look a little translucent. I'm going to even go in here a little bit. So I just barely have any paint on my brush, and it's very thin. And I'm getting it on, but then I'm getting most of it off. But I want you to see the difference. These are highlighted a little more, and the ones at the bottom and on the other opposite side are not. So it just looks like the light is shining on it. So I'm getting it on, getting it off, getting it all over my fingers. I dipped my finger in that other color. Just kind of going in the shape of the petal. You don't want it too white because you don't want it looking like a daisy, unless that's the look you're going for. Okay, almost to the other side. I've learned a lot of techie stuff this week. My brain's hurting. Y'all know me and technology. Blah. But if I'm going to take this business to the next level, I've got to get over that fear or that dislike of it. I don't know if it's so much fear as it is just, that's just not my thing. So I'm thrilled that my hubby's going to take that over when he retires in November. Okay. There we go. Now let's put our little petal lines in. And to do that, I'm going to use my 30-aught, I don't know how you say it, but my very long liner brush. Love it. It's a master's touch. Got it at Hobby Lobby. I love how the handle is weighted. I mean, just the whole shape of it makes it very easy to hold, and it just glides. Okay, so we're going to go a long one in the middle and shorter ones out to the side. Very minor detail, but it makes such a difference. So I'm going to go a little shorter here. Those behind look like they're a little bit smaller petal maybe, so I'm going longer with the longer petals. Kind of curving out as I go. At Tamara Bennett's Southern Adornments Decor live event in Dallas in July, on July the 15th and 16th. I will be one of the presenters there. I'm super excited. There'll be about 200 painters there. And I will be teaching a sunflower, a little bit different one. The center will be a little different. I'll be teaching it to 50 women at a time. It's going to be so much fun. This will be my third live to go to of hers, but it'll be my first time going as a presenter. And if I could take every one of you with me to hold my hand while I go and do this, I would take you. So keep me in your prayers. I hope everything goes okay. There's a lot of major talent going to be there. But it is just so much fun. I did not want the last two. When it was time, it's only 2 days, but when it was time to go, I was not ready for it to be over with. Never seen so many talented women. There were beginner painters there, people that had never picked up a paintbrush, and then people that have been painting forever, you know, and have had their own businesses. At the time, I didn't have a business started. So the first one I went to, and even a little bit the second one, because I'm an introvert, really. When it comes to sharing my painting and stuff, I never have enough confidence. I think, oh, I don't want to show that to them. Theirs is so good, and mine is just not what it should be. And so there you go, comparing yourself to others, and we shouldn't do that. Hi, Debbie. And I could just I literally was sick, being so nervous about going in there with all those women, and it didn't take long. That they were just all precious, and I just had the best time, and I painted, and my fears went away very quickly. Everybody was just precious. And then here I am 3 years later. I'm going to be teaching at that event. It's just blows my mind. So please, 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 I know some of you on here are going to that event. If you're able to go, if you are able to go, please come find me and go, I'm one of your followers. Oh, if you're there, you will be in my class, my breakout session. So you definitely will. So just be sure and say hi. I'm one of your followers. I just want to see everybody face to face. Okay, we've got one more petal. I'll look and make sure we didn't miss any. Okay, do you see any I missed? I think I got them all. Tell me if you see any. Yes, I do. I actually didn't thin down the paint that time, but I did get my brush pretty wet. I didn't really wipe it on the towel. I just got some moisture in it and rubbed it off on there. But yes, if I'm going to be doing a lot of long lines especially, I will thin my paint down some to a kind of an ink consistency. All right, let me wash that out. And let's put the bold effect in here. Let's go ahead and put some black on it. Well, I take that back. While we've got our white out, I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and do the white on the petals. Our little detail on that. And that white is just a little bit thick, so I'm going to get a little bit of water and put in it. And mix it up just a little bit. The Delta is a little bit thicker than the Deco Art. Okay, so we're going to use that same liner brush. And just at the tip of the very outside of the petals, we're going to put some lines. Thank you, Debbie. You'll be there virtually, Pam. Great. Well, I'm glad you're going to get to do that. That'll be fun. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the virtual is only 147, and you get lots with that. Okay, so just on the, because I'm going to put another line under here of the black in a minute. So I'm going to go right on the edge, and I'm going to make it kind of whimsical. I'm going to be squiggly. Just right up to the, not quite up to the tip. Now I didn't water this down completely because I do want to make sure that it shows up. So pretty much this white, where we did the shading, is what it's going on. Right up close to that edge. I'm going to go over this one just a little bit more. See how nice that brush flows? I absolutely love it. And it fits my hand really well. Now that I know how to invoice, I'm going to be preparing to do a live sale. Would any of you be interested in a live sale? You might not even want to purchase these things, which is fine. I go to craft shows and, you know, I sell them that way. I've just never been interested in selling them online because I didn't know how to invoice or how to ship. Well, I know how to do that now. And I've had so many of you contact me and go, do you sell your pieces? And I'm, well, not yet. Not online because I don't know how to invoice and I don't know how to, the shipping costs and what boxes and all of that good stuff. Well, I can do that now. In a live sale, it's not like an auction. A live sale is my items are priced, and it's the first one that says sold number 6, sold number 10. Whoever comes up first in my comments, because there's a delay sometimes, so whoever I see first that comes up in the comments, that's who gets it. And you have 24 hours to pay for it. And then there'll be shipping costs and taxes added to it. Sounds like my grandchildren just got here, so it might get a little loud. But I love having them here. Love hearing them. All the laughter. First thing the little one says, Grimmy, you got my cookies? You got my ice cream? I mean, what's a Grammy for if you can't spoil them a little? Our 2 oldest grandchildren just turned 19. Just one more year of being a teenager. Okay, we're about done with the white, and then we're going to do the center. And while I've got the black out for that, we'll come through and do our other line of black. Okay, so we've got all the white there. This would be pretty even with just a white center in it, not a sunflower. All right, let's get that old bold black out here. Spoil them and send them home. Heather, you're going? Yay! Okay, and this is Deco Art Lamp Black. Still got a little bit of yellow in my brush. Let me get that out. Okay, so I'm going to switch to this 1-inch flat. And I'm first going to stand it up on its chisel edge just to get around that circle. I can still see where my pencil mark is. Okay, smooth it out, and I'm sure I'll get some of this black on my hand before we get done. Okay, so up again. Sorry, trying to keep it in camera for you. Smooth it out. I was telling them earlier when I was doing this on the other page that you don't really think of black as a pretty color when you're painting things. You know, you don't think of black. It needs black in it. But black makes all the other colors pop. Just really makes them stand out. And I did get it on me already. I'm going to dry it real quick and put one more coat on it just to make sure. Hi, Christy. Yeah, I'm glad you're going. I'll see if I can get them up here. 22, 21, 20, and 19. Then it drops down to 17. Not quadruplets. Youngest grand will be 5. That's awesome. Well, most of you know we've got a new baby on the way, a new grandson. He will be here due in July the 2nd, but I just have no doubt that he's not going to wait till July. I think he'll be here at the end of June. He's already showing to be a big little boy, and she is little. So I have a feeling that he's not going to make it till July. He's going to be a June baby. And their anniversary is at the end of June. So won't that be something if he's born on their anniversary? Okay, I think that's covered good enough. I should have brought a separate cup of water in here for this black, because that sure dirties your water really quick. Okay, so while we've got our black out, let's go back to our liner brush. And we're going to put some lines, watering that down just a little bit. Just like we did the white ones, we're going to go under the white now and put some black. Most of you, I don't know, I've got so many new followers now, maybe not, but I had Logan, the one that's one of them that's downstairs. He's our youngest right now. He'll be 7 next month, but he was on here. He did a live with me once, painting. Lots of views on that one. So my guess is within a week or 2, I will be sending out more email, because I'm just 20 or 19 now, I think. I'll have to go back and look, but just 19 away from having 800 followers. And that's consistent followers. I haven't, lost. I mean, you lose one or two here and there. You're not everybody's cup of tea, or for whatever reason they might have dropped off. Maybe they don't have internet anymore. You know, I don't take that personally at all. But it's just blown my mind in the last week and a half. 102 new followers, and I contribute most of that to going on other people's pages and introducing myself that, you know, they never knew I existed. I've gotten almost 80 new YouTube subscribers in the last couple of weeks. So I got notification from YouTube that I hit over 100 subscribers. So that's awesome. Okay, almost done with this little detail. Then we've just got a couple more steps. Logan is our youngest grandson right now, the one's downstairs. He is quite the little artist. The child would draw and create all day long. Okay, I'm going to step away and turn my fan on. It's getting a little warm up here. Okay, so let's dry that real quick. You could even make these front petals and make the back ones leaves. I hadn't thought of that. So you could have some green in it. Okay, so now we're going to go with Mississippi Mud and then Khaki Tan to make some little seeds in the center. And let me grab my brush that I used for that earlier. It's just a small round brush, and we're literally, whoops, it's coming out of the lid, so I will just, got a bubble in it. So I will just use that instead of letting it dry on there and waste it. And we're just going to make little comma strokes, all different directions. Now when I'm doing this, I turn the flower so that I make sure I do get all different directions. So we're doing the darker first, and you could do this with a darker brown even, something like milk chocolate. Making some a little larger than the others. And you could leave it just like this, and it would be just fine. But you know me, I can't leave well enough alone. Okay, now we're going to go with that khaki. And it doesn't take much. And it's just enough shade difference that it's going to really show up as a contrast. Whoops, wrong brush. Well, my brush rolled off. There it is. It had gone under the washcloth, couldn't see it. Okay, So now we're going with that lighter. And they're just comma strokes. These comma strokes make good if you're doing a flower center, like you're wanting the center of your flower. There's the center of your flower, and that's what you can work off of. So a simple little comma stroke, you can do a lot with them. Won't do quite as many of this color. Just really kind of want it highlighting, and we're going to go around the center of it anyway with a lot of dots. Okay, I think that's plenty on that. While those are drying, let's go ahead and do our little ladybugs. So to do the ladybugs, I need to decide where do I want the top of my... Okay, so here's my top, this small one to this small one. This is the center. So here are the sides. I've got it centered how I want it, and that's how I will put my hanger on. That will be my that'll be my center one right there. Okay, so to do the little ladybug, I'm going to do a couple of ladybugs with this tiny, tiny little liner brush. And you're just going to do half circle. Let's put one. I'll put one up here. So I'm going to do a half circle right on top of that shading line that we did. Okay, and let's do one maybe right here. Half circle, and then a line at the bottom. You could even put little legs coming out on it if you wanted to. And just fill it in. Put a second coat on this one. I think we might want to put one right up here somewhere. Let's go ahead and get a second coat on this one. Okay, well, let me look a second and see where we want maybe a third one. I missed one petal. With black. Oh, you're right. I sure did. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for taking care of me. Debbie, you found me on YouTube. I'm glad to hear that. I always go back before, especially if I'm doing these on a live, before I seal them, to go through and look, because it's very easy to miss one, and I've done it before, so I always try to go back and look at them. Okay, so I put just a tiny little red dot there to let me know which one is the bottom petal. Just scrolling. Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you found me. Glad you're here. All right, let's put one. I'm not going to put one right here because we're going to put dots there. So let me see if another one's going to even look. Let's put one right here. Okay, and then let's put a little head. Black's getting a little dry. Let me. Okay, so we're just going to put a little head on each one. We'll make this one going out this way. And just another tiny little half circle. Fill it in, and let's do some little antennas. Some dots on them. Make this one going in towards let's do some antennas on this one. Okay, and the red on this one needs one more coat on this last one we did. And then let's give it a little head on this one. All right, which way do we want this one going? I'll make this one go to the outside. Nope, I'm going to make it go to the inside. It's going where all the goodies are, all the seeds are. This one's just a party pooper. He's leaving. Okay, and before I put the little dots on, I'm going to put just a tad of white just on the very tip of my brush, and I'm going to give them each a little highlight. Maybe on the head a little bit. Okay, so we've got some highlights on there. And then we're going to go into the black with my smallest little daughter tip and put some dots on there. Instantly becomes a ladybug with those dots. Okay, so there's our ladybugs. Okay, when you go to YouTube, you just type in the search bar, you'll go Pam Savage Young at Heart Creations, and it should bring it up. What size brush for the ladybugs, Debbie? The ladybugs, it's a small liner. It is Velvet Touch, Princeton Velvet Touch, and it's a 10-0, 10-aught. And I got that at Hobby Lobby. Love it, especially for doing eyelashes. It is so good for that. All right, I'm gonna let that dry just a second, and I'm gonna see if I can get Logan and Angela up here. Don't know if they will, but I'll try. Hang on with me just a second. Y'all talk amongst each other. Angela, Logan, Dylan, Darren, and Amber. Who? Did your mom and dad already meet? Yeah. Oh, okay. Come say hi. Is Logan here? I don't care. They want to say hi to y'all. So just come. You can just come and say hi. Just for a minute. Yeah, you don't have to stay. You just come say hi and bye. Okay, I've got wet paint everywhere, so you'll have to be careful. We're almost done. All right, this is Angela. You think we look alike? Everybody says we look alike.
I can kind of see it.
Yeah, in certain pictures. Yes. Come here, Logie Bear. Logie's got a little boy face. What do you got all over your face? I haven't even seen them since they got here. What have you been eating? Say hi.
Hi.
So this is brother and sister. That's his favorite friend, his sissy. This is what we're painting right now. We're doing ladybugs on it. See all the little ladybugs? Well, your mom and dad didn't stay long.
They didn't. He was hungry.
Oh, so they were going somewhere else to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll finish up here and tell everyone. I know. What have you been eating? Let me see. What have you been doing? Look at all that.
I ate chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, chocolate chip cookies. Well, give me a hug. Give me a hug and I'll be down there in about. I almost got one. All right, just close the door when you go out. I'll be down in probably about 30 minutes.
Run, babe!
Yeah, that one's a white one, isn't it? Okay, go down. Tell Papa to turn the air down one time, one notch. All right, ladies, there you go. They said hi, Angela and Logan. Oh, they are so much fun. Angela has a beautiful voice and plays. She's taught herself to play the ukulele. All three of my granddaughters are very, very musical, very musically inclined. Okay, so we're going to use the daughter, only I'm going to switch to my big one, the largest one that I've got. And we're going to go around the flower just with different colors. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of black. I'm going to put a little bit more black out. This one's getting a little bit dry. So we always end up here in the craft room painting something when they're here. Ever since they've been little bitty. I know to have some kind of a project for them when they come. Okay, so we're just going to go around doing some dots here and there. Now, of course, the black's not going to show inside the black, but I do it I go ahead and touch it in there just to keep myself balanced. Got a little bit too much water in that one. Let's see if we can fix it. We'll just let it sit there and let it be a big one. I go kind of up top. I don't want them in a real symmetrical pattern. All of my grandchildren are homeschooled, and they've done really, really well. Very proud of them. My oldest granddaughter graduated last year, But while in her high school level, she was also going I forgot how many classes taking. She's going to be a nurse like my daughter. And then my second granddaughter is graduating next month. I've got to go to her graduation, and she is going into cosmetology. She loves, loves, loves doing hair. So Christy, maybe you can give her some tips sometime. So she's going to cosmetology school, and she's going to be paying for most of it. She's very independent and wants to pay for her own way as much as she can. She's the one that is now renovating an RV, and that's what she wants to live in while she's in college. She's still living at home now. But all of my grandchildren live within 45 minutes to an hour and a half of us, so we are very, very blessed. Okay, so we did the black. Let's go ahead and do some of this lighter pale yellow. Now it's going to show up on the black, and it does show up on this darker yellow. I did one of these, and I even did some teal or turquoise dots, made it really pretty. So you can just put anything you want. Now, does a real sunflower have all of that? No, but it's the painting world. We can do what we want to with them. Make them our own. I'm putting them all different sizes. Not much pressure if I want a little one, and then more pressure if I want a big one. And remember, these dots take longer to dry. And then we've got to do the end of our petals. I'm going to put two more colors on this around the edge. My great niece is a cosmetologist and just moved into a bigger shop. I'm so proud of her. And she keeps me looking good. Yeah, that's what I told my granddaughter. I said, woohoo, I've got a cosmetologist in the family now. So she can give me my makeovers. Looks like your grandsons. They all love, love, love coming here. And it's always, no, we're not ready to go home. And that's been my dream ever since I was 5 years old. I can remember thinking, I just want to be a Grammy and a mom and a Grammy. Ever since I was 5. That's what I would tell everybody. Okay, we're going to put some burnt orange. You could even put some red, but I think with the Ladybugs, the Ladybugs wouldn't stand out as much. So we're going to go with just a little bit of burnt orange. You could have even worked some of the orange into the petals, just with doing that wash method, watering it down, getting it really thin, and just like we did the lighter colors to highlight the petal, you could have worked a little bit of orange in. Now these colors look good, but when you put that white in, we're going to put white in a minute, it just tends to make the other colors really stand out. You could go a little bit darker with these petal lines, so they would show up a little better behind these dots. Wasn't thinking about that. And I can see them. I just don't know that you can see them on camera as well. They're still showing up, but I think a darker brown would have probably looked a little bit better. All right, let's get some on the outer perimeter here. Chocolate chip cookie. The boy loves his cookies. He doesn't get them very often because he's a terrible eater. He just does not like real food, I guess you would call it. So he gets forced to eat certain things, and he holds his breath or holds his nose and makes it happen. Okay, so we've got plenty of orange. Let's throw some white in there. And then we'll do our tips. I'm going to go with just a tad bit more white. I really like when we put the white in. It just, I don't know, for some reason to me it just brings it to life. I don't put as many white as I do the others. Just enough to bring the other colors out. The hardest thing is knowing when to stop. If you were late hopping on, be sure and comment if you would be interested in me doing a live. You don't have to say no. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. You don't have to say anything if you really aren't interested. But if you are interested in a live sale, because it is, you know, a little bit of work to put it together, and I am perfectly happy to do that. If you would be interested in purchasing any of my painted items, have some spring things. Like this flower behind me, that would go in it. That's a newer one. It's got a center just like we're doing right now. And it's got in the flower pot. So I've got several things that I usually take to the craft shows. But if you're interested, you're my girls. And you get first dibs if that's something you're interested in. Okay, so there's the center on that. Now let's go through. I'm going to put some black dots up here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You could even just do one. You could do them on the last one. We did 3 white ones and a black one in the middle. Just another layer, texture. I don't know if y'all can hear it. I've got the door closed, but they've already got Papa, my husband, laughing so hard. I don't know what they're saying or what they're doing down there, but they're already having a good time. And that's the way it should be. There we go. And I love all the giggling. All right, see what just that little detail adds to it. Some painters, something repetitious like this, like doing the dots, is their least favorite. It just drives them crazy. It's very repetitious, takes a little bit of time, and they don't do it because they just can't stand it. I love anything that is repetitive. At work, they would always bring me, if we had big stacks of paper to file or needed to be separated out and then stapled, nobody else wanted to do that. It was, to them, it was so boring. They absolutely detested it, and I loved it. Anything like that that's repetitious, I love it, love it. Repetitious, I don't know if that's a word, but repetitive. Okay, I'm not going to hold this up because these dots will run. I'm not going to hold it up too much. But there you go. And we did that in, see, I got on here at 6, right at 6. It's just now 7:30, and we had a little bit of interruption. So I'm getting faster for my lives. Let me hold you up here. A little bit faster. I'm working on it. Let's see if I can hold it up. Now, when you're drawing these dots, you want to be very careful because if you've got a high-powered blower, it's going to blow that paint everywhere. Do you make your own blanks and templates? Stephanie, I do have some that I've made. This actual wood piece came from Wood Cuts, C-U-T-Z, Wood Cuts, and he's in Bear Creek, Alabama. So if you just Google Wood Cuts, Bear Creek, 2 words, Alabama, he'll come up. And if I don't have time to cut my own, that's who I get a lot of my blanks from. I've ordered from him for years. Let me heat set this just a little bit so those dots don't go everywhere. But you want just a low setting so that you're not blowing those puddles of dots everywhere. But I do have some templates. I don't have anything fancy like Procreate or anything like that. I just hand draw some of my templates. And they're on my website, youngatheartcreations.com. And just, you'll find the templates on there. And since they are just hand drawn and I don't have a lot of them I don't have painted samples, they're just $2. And you're welcome to print them out, copy them, use them to teach, whatever you want to do. I've been working on some more to get on there in the next season. And I'm saving for an Apple iPad in pencil so that I can start doing in Procreate. But yes, I do cut a lot of my own wood, my own blanks. Not into selling the blanks yet, but I am going to start selling some of my painted pieces. Because right now I'm the only one doing all of it, and I am almost 65. So my body doesn't do everything that it used to do. So I have to try to pace myself. I don't want to get overwhelmed. Okay, now I think those are set enough that they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to drip. Okay, so that's the front, and then I'll put my sealer on. And I wanted to, well, I haven't done the back of that one. Let me get this other one. I want to show you, for those of you, I know I do have some new watchers tonight. I will seal it first. If it's going outdoors, I'll use an outdoor sealer. If it's going indoors, I'll just use Mod Podge or get this at Hobby Lobby. It's a little expensive. It's indoor or outdoor. It's Liquitex. This bottle was $19, but it goes a long way. But I will seal it first, and then I will put my stamp on the back of it. If it's requested, I sign it. But the way I do my door hangers, or any of my wood pieces, used to I would staple them, and sometimes the staple would come through to your good side. You know, it would come through on this side and ruin your piece, or you'd have to really work to get that staple out and try to fix where the holes were. And it was just frustrating. So now, by doing it this way, and somebody on Painters Clubhouse, in one of the memberships that I'm in, showed this on their page, and I don't know why I didn't think of it. It's wonderful. I just glue this little, I buy hearts off of Amazon, the little heart shapes, and you can get stars, you could just take even out of your scraps and just cut little strips of wood. You wouldn't have to pay anything for it, just out of your scraps. But I like the hearts. I just think they're pretty, and I stain them a little bit with just some watered down brown paint. And then you can staple right on it, and it's not going to go through. You've got plenty of thickness. When I tie my knots, if I'm using jute, I don't put the knots up here because it makes the piece it just adds a little bit more for the piece. It'll kind of stick out from the wall. So I put the knot down at the bottom of the heart, so it goes under the heart there. It's down at the bottom and not sticking up here. So that's how I attach all of my things now. I do have some that will be in the live sale that were some things that I did prior to knowing about that. So, you know, some of them won't. Sorry, I'm holding this wrong and my bow's not staying on there right. But anyway, so that is a really great tip. Thank you if you're on here, whoever showed that to us. It's wonderful and has saved me so much grief. Okay, well, ladies, I think that's it for tonight. Don't forget to go register for the paint party. Now, the light is showing it a little lighter than it is. It's not near that light. Let's see if I can hold it down here. There's a little more truer to color, but that ring light's got it washed out. But it's a little more yellow than that. Maybe this one's a little darker yellow than what it's showing on camera. But there you go. So don't forget about the paint party. If you are at all able to come, I would love to have you. I'm going to go love on my grandbabies. All right. Thank you, ladies. Bye-bye.